grandparents, aunts, uncles, third cousins, distinguished guests, undistinguished guests, you know who you are, teachers, parents of triplets, and my other sister. Please pay close attention to the following safety presentation. Welcome to Lakeside Flight 2015, departing Atlanta, Georgia, right now, and arriving in approximately 8 minutes to your future. This aircraft is equipped with emergency exits to the left and right. In the event of a speech failure, your seat cushions can be used to cover your ears. Keep in mind, the past 4 years may be behind you. This flight will make 3 stops: the past, the present, and the future. If you have any other questions about the safety on this flight, feel free to take a look at the in-flight safety guide located in the seat pocket in front of you. Now, when I began writing my speech last night, I started by consulting the ultimate authority, WikiHow, because I wanted to write an amazing speech. After all, these are the best days of our lives, and today is the first day of the rest of our lives. WikiHow's step number 1, avoid all cliches. Oops. Step number 2, acknowledge others. I'm on. As I stand here today, I am representing our entire class. If I may say so myself, they're pretty awesome. Our diversity and talent has been evident over the past 4 years and will carry us far. There are many talented people who could share the spotlight with me today, including a D1 baseball player and a D1 football player who I expect we will see on television one day, Darius Sewell and Michael Horton. One of the most talented actors in Lakeside's history who will be studying drama next year at Yale, Mr. Seth Gregson. More than 14 of our classmates who attained the highest achievement in scouting, becoming Eagle Scouts. The talented winner of the Miss Lakeside pageant, Tracy Moore. Her lighting designer wasn't half bad. One of the smartest people I know, our star student, Jonathan Yeager. A passionate individual who created her own program to work with intellectually disabled students, Sally Choate. And 6 of the bravest, most dedicated individuals, Bryant Correra, Eric Serrano, Joshua Bryant, Dwayne Payton, Keon Ware, and Holly Snipes, who have enlisted in the armed forces to keep our great nation safe. As we look to the future, we should certainly remember the past and all the experiences that bond each of us together, including avoiding Miss Bell's late passes, listening to the Deuces morning announcements, or lack of announcements, peeling off the violation stickers for Mr. Trombino, and cramming into the mosh pit at football games, slowly making our way to the front with each increasing grade level. And I'm sure we will always remember our Vikings chant. I do want to talk seriously, for a brief moment, about a theme that has been important to me and I hope you might find useful in the years to come. Although it might seem more appropriate in a speech about the future to be talking about success, instead, I'm going to focus on failure, because failure is all around us. Which leads me to the audience participation part of this speech. I would appreciate a show of hands of how many of you have ever failed at something you've ever tried. Ever. Yeah. See? It's all around us. But that isn't necessarily a bad thing. What matters is how you get back up after you fail. And getting back up is what leads to some of our biggest successes. My first example is the iconic Michael Jordan. Did you know he was cut from his high school basketball team because his coach said he wasn't good enough? Now, I know many of you, including myself, may not be able to relate to an athlete the caliber of Michael Jordan. But one day we might relate to this next person. At age 64, he retired from his job and received a $105 retirement check. He was at a crossroads in his life. He could either retire broke, living out his golden years in poverty, or he could start fresh. He made a decision to go for it and set out to sell his chicken recipe. He was turned down over 1,005 times before he found a restaurant to use it. Most of us can barely imagine 1,000 rejections. Colonel Sanders never gave up, regardless of the opinion of others. The rest of the story is KFC history. Have you ever been told that you're not good enough? One day, a 4-year-old kid came home with a note in his pocket from his teacher. It said, "Your Tommy is too stupid to learn. Get him out of the school." His mother read the note and answered, "My Tommy is not too stupid to learn. I will teach him myself." And that Tommy grew up to be the great Thomas Edison. Edison had only 3 months of official schooling, and he was partially deaf. He failed approximately 10,000 times while he was working on the light bulb, without which you could not see my striking features on the screens in this room. While these vignettes are both interesting and motivational, many of them may already be familiar to you. So I will now share 2 more short personal stories about obstacles and challenges that you probably haven't heard. In 6th grade, the predicted odds of me succeeding in high school were slim to none. Let me explain. That year I developed constant headaches that prevented me from thinking, attending school, or playing sports. In fact, I missed 80 of 180 school days that year due to my illness. 10 more than I usually do. That's correct. Eventually, we learned that I had a virus in my brain. Although the headaches finally stopped, I found myself back at the 3rd grade level for reading, writing, and arithmetic. While most of you were learning geometry, I was having to relearn my multiplication tables. There were many times I thought I could never catch up and I just wanted to quit. But the help and encouragement from those around me helped me keep working and persevere. You will have tough times in your life, and I know many of you already face obstacles every day. But if you lean on your friends and family during these times and set small goals along the way, I have faith that each of you will come out stronger on the other end. Now, this next story relates to a girl very close to me. This person really loves the game of baseball, more than softball, more than basketball, more than golf, even more than tennis. She played Little League and was typically the only girl on an all-boys team. She worked hard, even enough to make the boys' middle school team, and even made the JV baseball team her freshman year of high school. The next year, however, she was cut from the team because the coaches didn't want a girl on the team. In spite of the setback, she played on travel baseball teams, continued to refine her skills, and this person could not be here today because USA Baseball, in partnership with Major League Baseball, has flown her as a member of the top 36 women's baseball, not softball, but baseball players in the United States for a final workout before competing at the Pan American Games representing the United States of America. She would not be where she is today if she had listened to the coaches that told her to quit. Her passion and perseverance allowed her to grow and better herself so she could get where she is today. Okay, you've sat through these stories. So what lesson do they all have in common, and what can we learn from them? Don't get me wrong, we are all very young and have not experienced monumental failures. But we are all alike in that eventually we will have challenges and struggles. In fact, we are all going to fail. It is likely that each of us will be fired at least once. Most of us probably twice. It is also certain that we will make countless mistakes in the future. After all, we are human. We should remember that it is good for all of us to fail, as some of our greatest successes will come only after failures. What is important is not that we fail, but what we do after we fail. As the great Vince Lombardi said, the greatest accomplishment is not in never failing, but rising again after you fall. In conclusion, there are 3 guiding principles that tie all these stories together. 1, don't fear failure to the point of never taking risks or dreaming big. Babe Ruth put it simply, don't let the fear of striking out keep you from playing the game. In this year's yearbook, Jane Jang and Tyson Ross quoted Walt Disney, who was fired because he lacked imagination and had no good ideas. But he believed that all of our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. 2, embrace and learn from failure. Senior Eric Chris shared with us that Colin Powell said, there are no secrets to success. It is the result of preparation, hard work, and learning from failure. And the wise Rafiki from The Lion King told us, oh yes, the past can hurt, but you can either run from it, or you can learn from it. 3, Cheerful persistence in spite of failure is a common element of long-term success. Winston Churchill urged us to never, never, never give up. And Principal Jason Klein, can we call him Jason now? Tells us to keep on trucking. So, never give up on something you believe in. And I'm proud to say that the 412 people who sit behind me today never gave up. To conclude my conclusion, I wanted to reflect on the words of Gene Kranz, the mission director of Apollo 13. Failure is not an option. But in light of these stories, perhaps we should revise it to say, in the end, failure is not an option. But along the way, it can motivate our greatest accomplishments. We must not fear, but must rather embrace our failures and welcome them as opportunities. If my remarks today motivate even just one of you to fail, and then to succeed, then I have accomplished part of my goal. And I know a lot of you are concerned about your future, but there's no need to worry. The economy is booming, the job market is wide open, and despite what you might have learned in AP Environmental Science, the US Senate says that climate change is not caused by humans. We'll be all right. Now, to conclude my conclusion that was not previously concluded, my final advice is to follow your passion, stay true to yourself, never follow someone else's path. Unless you're in the woods and you're lost, then by all means you should follow that path. And if you don't remember anything from my speech, remember this quote from Dr. Seuss. You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose. In closing, I'd like to thank and acknowledge the mentors, role models, classmates, and civilians that helped me make me who I am today, and without whom I'm certain I would not be standing here. My mom, my dad, my sisters, Lauren, Stephanie, Allison, and Suzanne, my girlfriend Emma Schaefer, all of my friends. Madison Bailey wanted to shout out, there you go. Ashley Graham wanted to shout out, there you go. Chandler Lawrence, hi. My travel coach, John Hollins, my batting coach, Howie McCann, my pitching coach, Bill Melvin, Principal Klein, The Deuce, Susan Weibel, Jonathan Yeager, and my dogs, Danny, Sweetie, and Bella. Thank you, all of you, for your attention, and please remember to place your in-flight safety guide back in the seat pocket in front of you. Congratulations, class of 2015. This concludes Lakeside Flight 2015. Thank you and best of luck to all my fellow classmates and your families.
Good job, ladies.
Thank you. Good morning, graduates, students, honored guests, parents, and friends. In short, good morning, Viking family. This is always so awkward talking here, but talking to the graduates, so know that my head is this way, but my heart is that way. We are all very happy that you're here to share in the celebration of the accomplishments and unique qualities of the 412 members of our graduating class of 2015. Before you sit the culmination of half a millennia of education. Think about that. Half a millennia, 5,000 years of education sit on the stage behind me. It represents over $5 million in college scholarships,